Hi guys, and welcome back to another RC Plane Guy video. So this one is actually taken from a clip of my recent Eurosport kind of refurb. So it's actually based around the Hacker Click Connect pins. So I really like these. I've actually since used these on another model, my Dakota, the 20 pinner version, because you can get different versions of these. I'm by no means sponsored or affiliated with Hacker for these products, and I'm getting nothing from this, but I just really do think they are a great product. I found them very easy to use, and I'll definitely be using them again. But yeah, I thought I'd just give a bit of an introduction and a separate video just for how to use these and how easy they go together. So yeah, it's based on my Eurosport build and the wing connections, but as I mentioned, it can be pretty much used for any model, any type of connection that you want really. They do various different sizes of the connectors, right from down sort of like 2 pins, I think, even as small as, right the way up to, I think the biggest one is 20 pin. So it depends on how many servos and connections you might need to put them together. But yeah, very handy to have, and I've found them very useful. So yeah, see what you think. The adapters I've chosen to go with are these Hacker Click Connect multi-pins. So they come in various different shapes and sizes. So this one is a 12 pin version, so it has 2 rows of 6, and essentially, yeah, they come apart, and you have one side of the leads going one side, the other leads going that side. You have 2 different styles of pins. You have the one side with the longer pin and the shorter pin that slot into each other, and you simply crimp the ends on and click them in place. To help identify on the actual pins, so on the sides there's an A and a B, and they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then kind of on the corresponding side as well, they're also numbered and got letters on, so that you can identify which is which. Obviously it pretty much is common sense really, because it actually only fits in one way, so if you get it wrong, there's no chance of kind of reversing any polarity and messing up your electronics. So it only fits in one way and clips into place there and locks into place with those 2 side clips. So yeah, next up we will move on to the crimping. So as mentioned, you have the 2 different sides. When you're doing the crimp, it's quite important that you don't crimp the whole part of it. So as you can hopefully see when the camera focuses, there we go. There's kind of 2 bits that stand up on these pins, and it's the same on both sides. You've got the back half here, the middle bits, and then this front section. So the front section needs to remain untouched, because that's what slides into place and clicks into the adapters, whereas the back half is what you do need to crimp. So the very back bit crimps down on the cable, not stripped part. The middle bit is what clamps down on your actual metal inside the cable to provide the connection, and then yeah, the front stays sticking up to slide in and click into place. So we'll demonstrate that now. So that's the sheathing in place with the heat shrink ready to go, so that obviously that can just slide up and be shrunk into place once we're ready, but for now just move it out of the way. So next up is kind of preparing the ends for crimping. So I have this wire strip tool, so again another little thing from Audi, which is very handy. You literally squeeze it together, so you put the ends in up here, and it sits in place on that little ridge, and then the clamp comes down and just tears the ends off nicely. So just you're only leaving a tiny little bit just to go through the end of the crimp into for the adapter, and then do one by one crimping the ends on. So for the crimping part, I use the Powerbox crimp tool. So that's this one here. So this is a very useful tool that I've found for using with the crimps. So they fit really nicely into the end part here. With the Powerbox one, it goes down in stages. So as you close it, you can hear the click. So that's just enough to lock it in place to secure the clamp just in place where you want it, so that you can then prepare the wire and slot it into place. And then when you're ready, simply squeeze the rest of it down and then let go, and it pops out, ready to go. So again, I'll put it on the time lapse, and we'll go through the first kind of crimping part, and then on to the plugging it into the adapter. So you can see there, I've just pulled the end of the strips off of those 3 leads, ready to pull apart like that. And then we can do one by one with the crimping tool. So just get lined up where we want it to plug into and where we want it to sit. So I'm going to follow the same sort of thing I did on the other side, and keep it routine with the kind of the red, the black, red and signal wires all going the same way. So I kept the bottom row for the 2 servos, so 3 and 3, and then the top row for the retracts 2, brakes 2, and then leaving 2 spare along the top. So when we're ready, we just prepare the wire strip. So just making sure it's nice and kind of thin and ready to slide through the hole in the crimp. So get it lined up, and you just simply slot the pin in here into the hole. So there's 2 different size holes depending on what you want. I tried the first bigger hole first, and it worked, but it left the end of the crimp a little bit too loose for my liking. So I found for this size wire and crimp, the smaller hole worked spot on. So it's just a case of lining it up, and then you push it down 1 step, and then that leaves you in place. I've just got 1 hand, no grip on it, and it just holds it in place there really nicely, so that you can then prepare the wire, slot it in place, and then crimp down with 1 hand, which makes it nice and easy. So just checking that the wires come out the other end and that the wire's through the right end, and then clamp down and release, little wiggle, and it pops out. And there you are, a nice kind of successful crimp, where it's got the cable in the end there, and the metal part is also trapped in. It's nice and secure, and it leaves the front end free to slot into the adapter, which we'll do once we've got these 3 done. So once we know which slot we want it to go into, so like I say, I'm going to follow the same I did on the other side. So I'm putting the black into slot 1, and then following red and signal. So you can do one at a time or all three, however you want to do. I've been doing all three, and they just slot in and just slide down until you hear an audible click, and it's quite an obvious little click. So I don't know whether that picked it up on there on the camera, but all three are in there, and you can see the pin has kind of come through the other side in the adapter, ready to slot into the other side of the port. So then we can do the opposite side on there to the matching side, or you can complete the full side and then do the second side, whichever way around, whatever you prefer. Obviously I've labelled them up so that I definitely am sure which one I'm plugging into what when I'm doing the other side. If you don't do that, it's probably best to do one at a time, so just to avoid obviously plugging in the wrong one, matching to the wrong one on the other side. So that's one side adapter now complete. So you can see all the pins are in place there, ready to go through to the other side. Obviously there's two missing on the top right there because I haven't made use of those. I only needed 10 and this is a 12 pin socket. So they've left blank just in case I ever wanted to add anything in the future. Maybe if I added some lights or something to go into the wing, then it's left me a positive and negative kind of for power to send that through. So obviously we just need to slide the sheathing up so that it covers up to where we want it, and then slide the heat shrink over the top, and then heat that in place to hold it there. And then it's just a case of the other side, doing the same sort of thing but with the other end of the connector. So that's the slot that goes into the pins, and a similar sort of idea with the crimping, holding it in my tool and crimping it in place. So that's the other end. I haven't tried it, but I am told, or so the instructions say, that you can actually slide a kind of a flathead screwdriver down here into the slots and kind of pull the lever back, and it allows you to slide the pins back out. So if you ever needed to remove them for any reason, it is possible to do that. I don't know how easy it is to do that, and I'm not going to attempt it because I don't want to mess anything up because they're all in there nicely. That's both connectors all now on. So I've just finished that side, they're all in, and basically all we need to do now is just pull the heat shrink up over the ends to where we want it, just to tidy up those loose strands of the sheathing and keep it all nice and tidy there. So obviously you just have to be careful with the heat as you add in the heat shrink, not to burn the plastic or the sheathing or the wires. So it's just very light heat, just a bit at a time to get the heat shrink going, and then don't overdo it. And the same on the other side, we'll add the heat shrink on there, and yeah, it's pretty much done.
So there we have it, it's all finished. So we have the nice sheathing going inside the fuzz with the heat shrink keeping that on place, and the connectors are all in there on that side, and the same sort of thing on the wing side. And then literally one click, job done, wings connected. So that's all 2 servos, brakes and retracts all in one quick, nice, easy, clean plug that's protected, solid and easy to do. So we can tuck that away in there, job done. And for when the wing's connected, obviously there's plenty of room in the wing, so they will just connect and slot into the hole in the wing when they slide on. If you had a little bit more room, there is obviously side mount fixings on here, so you could fix them into the fuzz, or if you really wanted to, create a new hole somewhere and plug it in, so that literally you could slide the wing onto the actual fixing and have them both just fix on there really neatly. For me in this install, I'm just keeping them loose, and that's my preference for manoeuvring the wings. But yeah, that's both sides done, and the final piece of the puzzle.
Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel to keep up to date on all the latest videos. And don't forget, it's free, so you have no excuse. Make sure to drop a comment in the video or drop me a message to let me know if you'd like to see anything else in my videos. And if you haven't already, follow the link tree either in my profile or usually in the description of the video that will take you to an online portal to access any of my other social media channels. I post a lot on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it may be that you're on, I'm on it. So go on and follow it. As quite often my content varies from platform to platform. I don't often post the same stuff, so be sure to follow in them all. If you're on Facebook, be sure to check out the brand new RC Plane Guy community Facebook group, which is a whole new space I've created primarily for you as the viewers, and to be able to interact with each other, comment, post your own photos and videos, share that experience and knowledge that's out there. I know there's so many different aspects of the hobby out there, and it's great to see everyone enjoying it and showcasing it for yourselves. So make sure you join the group and post some content, because it's great to see, and I really want to build that into a great place